everyone. Like Ms. Wenning did, I'd like to introduce my companions from the Philippines. There are only 4 of us, so it's me, my name is Carla, and our 2-year-old, our baby sister, 2-year-old breast cancer survivor, Giselle. Please rise to be recognized. Giselle Arroyo. Our 11-year-old older sister, Victoria Arjona. And of course, many of you know her from previous conferences, our founding president and our guiding light, Carla Paras-Sison. Okay, so now that you know us, I would like to introduce you to our foundation, ICANSERVE.
The ICANSERVE Foundation promotes early breast cancer detection through high-impact information campaigns and community-based breast cancer screening programs. Its flagship project is Ating Dibdibin, or Take Your Breast Care to Heart, a partnership with local government to institutionalize early breast cancer detection. Ating Dibdibin is a comprehensive program from training of government medical personnel all the way to free and affordable cancer treatments. To date, ICANSERVE has educated more than 22,000 women, conducted free breast clinics to nearly 10,000 women, and trained more than 1,600 government medical personnel. The only program of its kind in the country, Ating Dibdibin has partnered with the cities of Marikina, Panabo, Taguig, and Muntinlupa. ICANSERVE conducts simultaneous nationwide forums in the program called OKtober. It has partnered with schools, churches, offices, villages, hospitals, and local governments.
Early breast cancer detection saves lives.
That goes for men and women.
Breast cancer is the #1 cancer in the Philippines, where incidence is among the highest in Southeast Asia. The ICANSERVE Foundation thanks you for helping save lives. Thank you for giving help and hope to women living with breast cancer. Thank you for walking with us.
So we go to my presentation. As stated in the video, so in terms of advocacy, ICANSERVE has this program called Take Your Breast Care to Heart. Okay, so you learned about ICANSERVE Foundation from the video. If you want to learn about us, that's our website. Okay. And OKtober. So for Ating Dibdibin, just to recap, it involves partnerships with local government and also with service providers for the diagnostics and for the treatment of anyone diagnosed under the program. It involves training of the medical team and the health workers of the city partner. In the video it says we've had 4 partners. Now we have a 5th one that just signed up, and then we'll have a 6th one hopefully in the very near future. So they are trained on clinical breast examination and also in patient navigation. Often it's also the health worker that does the navigation. And then we conduct awareness forums with screening. So we do the screening in order to bust breast cancer myths. And research has shown that because of Ating Dibdibin, women's behavior toward cancer changed. Those who attended our forums and screening sessions no longer feared breast cancer. And in our partner cities, the public is chatting with community health workers, midwives and doctors and other familiar faces they consider to be part of their regular family or extended family about breast cancer, which is a topic that is intimidating and scary. And more important, they go for regular screening. However, setting up Ating Dibdibin takes a lot of time and commitment from the local government. And in the Philippines, we change our local government leaders every 3 years. Not necessarily change, but there's an election every 3 years, so there's a possibility. That's why we always work to have the Ating Dibdibin program institutionalized through a local ordinance to get a regular budget. So then, in 2015, ICANSERVE introduced OKtober, which is done in partnership with various organizations, again as stated in the video. And it's simultaneous screening with in different places, and it has a festival-like atmosphere because civic organizations, schools, and foundations do everything for their breast cancer community beneficiaries in order to attract people to go to the forums. So it involves awareness forums and the screening. And to date, ICANSERVE from 2015 to 2018, last year, OKtober has been done in 15 to 21 locations, and volunteer patient leaders go all over the Philippines to bring the message of hope to our fellow Filipinas. Our partner organizations jazz up the event with songs and dances and fashion shows or flash mobs, and even celebrity breast cancer survivor testimonials. And as a result, attendance in OKtober forums has averaged 4,000 since 2015, and over 1,000 undergo screening every year. So for Ating Dibdibin and OKtober, which are our best practices in advocacy, I want to talk more about the empowerment portion because that is what powers these two programs. And I found that in our online support group. I myself was introduced to ICANSERVE Foundation through the online support group, which at the time and until now is on the Yahoo Group's platform. So that was in 2004 when I was diagnosed with stage 3C breast cancer. So 22 of 24 lymph nodes removed from my armpit during my mastectomy proved to be malignant, and I didn't know what to do. So being a member of this e-group, which was just by email, proved to be very empowering for me, and then for those who were newly diagnosed who joined the group after me. Discussions were informative and educational. Queries of newcomers like me centered around how to cope with losing your hair during treatment, asking for referrals for various doctors, even acupuncture doctors, to help with the side effects of treatment, and where to get soothing ointment when you undergo your radiotherapy. It's all the simplest things that other breast cancer survivors seem to know all about, and we who are newly diagnosed know nothing about. So for example, for coping with hair loss, I got recommendations where to get cheap wigs, bandanas, and a lot of encouragement. I kept on being reminded in the discussion thread that it was temporary. They kept reminding me the hair will grow back, and that was something I really needed to hear at the time. Because most patients grapple with self-pity and a lot of insecurity during treatment. So the discussion threads allowed me to see the silver lining, where only dark clouds. So as I was saying, patient navigation happened in an informal way. Queries were directed to the right resources, especially the single most important query, where to get financial assistance. Because even if we do now have a universal healthcare law, there's still no funding available at the moment. So there would go to charities, nonprofits, and other sources of funding for treatment. And then there was also tips for how to get Social Security benefits for those who are members, and for tips for getting through every step of treatment, which was a great challenge for all the survivors, all the patients. Now, I believe that our online support group is one of the best practices because people there barely know one another and rarely see one another, but they share the scariest and ugliest times of their lives with confidence. It is always a way to reach those diagnosed with the correct information in a non-threatening and confidential environment. Members ask and other members answer. This experience with our Yahoo group is now being replicated in our Facebook closed group, which is growing faster than the Yahoo group because social media has really taken off. But the advantage of the Yahoo group is that people there can remain anonymous. They just enroll their email address. But in the Facebook, you have all these profiles that you can read over. So anybody can ask the stupidest question and trust that they will receive a compassionate and non-judgmental reply. So this is very appropriate for our country because we are an archipelago And in case you live in the urban areas, traffic is always a mess. So it's in the e-group where we meet up on discussion threads and share the good news of, let's say, somebody getting pregnant after treatment, which is supposed to be rendering us sterile as patients. And again, also virtually holding hands at the sad news of a fellow journeywoman cancer patient passing away. We have over 400 members in the e-group. Some of them reside in Vietnam, Sweden, Saudi Arabia. Half of them are also members of our Facebook close group, where we have over 300 members, some of whom are in New Zealand and United States. And in ICANSERVE, they have found a trustworthy resource and companion for their cancer journey. Aside from informal patient navigation, where members get directed to appropriate resources, other positive outcomes are more empowered patients who are confident to talk to their doctors, ask the important questions, and are unafraid and unembarrassed to seek a second opinion. Members of our Yahoo group and Facebook groups comprise our primary resource or source of volunteers when the foundation holds events to raise awareness or to raise funds. They are survivors who want to give back and serve the community in their own special way. Survivors in our Ating Dibdibin and OKtober forums are like powerful warriors who battle fear, ignorance, myths, and the lack of a holistic support system. And they are living proof to participants that breast cancer can be beaten. Over time, we nurture emerging patient leaders or advocates who are willing to help others who are undertaking the journey to recovery, just as they have been helped by ICANSERVE earlier. So this is how I am here before you today, because sharing to you what ICANSERVE has done over the last 15 years of my journey as a 15-year breast cancer survivor. I became a volunteer and was asked to help our President Carla out, our founding president. She's the head of our advocacy committee, and she's speaking later in workshop 3, so she will be speaking on the implementation of the legislation on cancer care in the Philippines. And she's also part of the panel discussion on overcoming challenges in advocacy. So if I did speak to you now, she'll be speaking 3 times already. So we volunteers, we just go where we are needed. And so I will end by inviting you to listen to Cara in workshop 3. And her presentation is proof of yet another breast practice in the Philippines, which is partnering that had a favorable outcome, which is the enactment of the cancer law in the Philippines. Kapongka. Thank you very much. This ends our session.